Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to talk to you about how to heal after you let go of a toxic or expired relationship. I did a video on that where I spoke about people can't go where you're growing. I had a few people reach out, wanted to know what the steps look like in their healing process. So I wanted to share that with you today. When you're letting go of a toxic or expired relationship, that pain that you feel, it doesn't just disappear. It doesn't just go away. There's a process that needs to take place for you to heal from that. It's really what happens after you say the goodbye that's going to test your strength and it's going to test your emotions. Letting go of any relationship that you once loved or cared for somebody is going to hurt. And it takes time. It is a process, but on the other side of it, when you're healing, that's when you gain your strength back. That's when you get empowered to create boundaries so that you don't keep repeating the cycle moving forward. When I think back to what it was like for me when I let go of an expired relationship, it was really difficult in the initial stages. I felt a little confused at first. What led us to this point in the first place? I had some regrets about things that I could have or should have done differently. I was replaying old memories and things that I used to enjoy with that person, and I was trying to rewrite that story in my mind. And those memories even made me feel lonely at times because the feeling that I had that was good, that was blissful, like I like to call it, I wanted to revisit those moments, that temptation of wanting to reconnect with that person. And for anyone that has gone through that, know what that feels like, or is going through it right now, I see you. I know exactly what it feels like when you're in that painful process after letting go of someone that you love and cared about or you were once connected to. So how do you know that you're in your healing phase? What does that look like? Now, the first thing that I recognized when I went through is that I was no longer trying to rewrite that story. I had come to terms with what had happened and I was ready to move forward, or I was willing to move forward. You stop trying to write the story. You accept things for how they are and what happened, and you are willing to move forward from that place. The second sign is that you start to think beyond those recycled thoughts of the initial stages of the relationship. So those old memories start to fade, or you just move past it and go beyond it. The third sign is that you start to reflect more instead of reacting. A lot of times you're reacting. Everything triggers you. You're angry. You maybe feel a little bitter. You're just disappointed. You feel like no one really understands you. Now, in your healing phase, you are starting to reflect on ways that you can do better moving forward, what that would look like for you in the next relationship. Number 4 sign would be that you're starting to recognize that you feel more peaceful in the times that you're spending by yourself. You're not tormented with those thoughts as much as they used to be. You're not having sleepless nights anymore. So you start to have a little bit more peace of mind as you're moving forward in that healing process. And number 5 would be you start to really look forward to the future. You start to think about what another relationship would look like and how to recognize things before they get to the point that you've been through with the other person that ended in a way that you would have not preferred it to. And so these are things that happen for me as well. So as the days are going by, you're going to feel stronger, you're going to feel more motivated, and you're going to feel more inspired to move past the process so that you could be a better version of yourself. So now that you've accepted it and realized that you're in your healing phase, you need some daily steps or activities to help support you in your healing process so that you can do this in a way that doesn't leave you bitter, it leaves you better on the other side of it. So let me give you some steps to help support you with that. First, you can start your day with affirmations. And this is something that a lot of people hear all the time, but they don't actually apply it. They don't implement it into their lives. And so they feel like, it's just a bunch of words. It's not going to help. And it does help. I'm telling you, it's something that happens when you are now saying or hearing yourself saying things in a positive light. And when you keep saying that over and over, it starts to become who you are. It comes in at a time when the negative thought will come up. It now projects over that negative thought. You start to believe what it is that you're saying because faith comes by hearing. It's a way to build yourself up and set the tone for your day. Three really good affirmations that you can start off with: release what no longer serves me, and I make room for what God is preparing for me. The second one is, even in my pain, I'm growing, and so I extend grace to myself in this process. And the third one is, I'm not defined by who walked away or who I walked away from. I'm being refined into who I'm becoming. These are some great reminders to yourself on a daily basis that's going to help you navigate your process of healing. The next one would be journaling through your emotions. And again, this is something that we hear in different scenarios or situations, but we don't implement because we feel like it's not going to make a difference. And I used to feel that way. I'm telling you, when I started to write out my thoughts, and I may not do it every single day now, but I did in a healing process that I was going through even recently. And once I took my emotions and transferred those emotions out of my body, out of my thoughts onto that paper, I realized that my day felt lighter, my shoulders felt lighter, and it just allowed me to function in more peace on a daily basis. I'm currently in the middle of creating a full journal of release and heal. It's a guided journal to help you deep dive into what this process looks like from beginning to end. I have that coming for you. I feel like it will definitely help you to process through your emotions, your feelings, and your healing by identifying and growing, creating boundaries and so forth. So keep an eye out for that, okay? But there is something to taking a notebook and just writing out your feelings. It really makes a difference and shifts your energy for your day. Very, very effective tool if you implement it the right way. Thirdly, practice no contact. That may look like blocking a person and maybe deleting them, blocking them on social media, whatever it takes for you to heal and have the time that you need to heal. That's what you need to do. So you want to replace the times that you're feeling like you want to contact the person with other activities. You may want to go hang out with some friends. You want to go on a walk. You be creative, do some painting, do some writing, do some reading. Spending time with God is one of the ones that I use a lot. For me, it looked like watching videos that was supporting what I was dealing with. Like it may be I'm feeling broken, for example. And so my pastor speaks on a lot of these topics, and I'm able to just go and pick out that video and listen to it to just help build me up and keep my mind focused on my healing process instead of regressing back into the feeling of being down, lonely, hurt, and so forth. And to be very honest, you may have some relapse. You may have some moments of weakness where you kind of mess up a little bit. And that's okay. We're all human. We all go through the challenges of what it looks like when we're navigating life. And so don't beat yourself up if you regress a little bit and you just kind of have to get back on the boat, if you will, to your healing process. Don't beat yourself up about that, okay? And the fourth thing would be listening to your truth over your feelings, or listening to the truth over your feelings. Now, this one is a big one because your feelings change all the time. They can be very deceptive. They can carry you down this rabbit trail of emotions that morph into actions and habits and even depression, anxiety, and so forth. So you want to be really careful when you're hearing this negative chatter that's influencing your feelings, and you want to tell yourself the truth in the matter. What that looks like is, say you had a rough day emotionally and you start missing this person really bad. And so you start to go down memory lane a little bit, and you might start questioning, did you make the right decision, or how you're going to get over it? Will you find somebody better? Those types of things. And sometimes it may look like I will never allow myself to feel this way for somebody again. And that's a big one. I've heard that so many times. And I've also tapped into that a little bit, but I'm kind of like the hopeful, I'm going to get past this and I'm going to be better on the other side of it type of person. So even if those thoughts do come up, I have grown to a point where I'm like, this is not the end of the road. Now it may take a little bit longer time in that healing process, but I'm doing that for the best interest of me. I'm doing that to make sure that I'm not going into anything bitter, and I'm not dragging baggage into that next relationship with me. So listening to your truth when you've gone through something like that emotional day where you kind of spiral out or you kind of crash out is realizing that you have been in this cycle for a period of time with a person that may not have taken accountability or wanted to put any effort into healing or correcting behavioral patterns, or there's things about yourself that you now realize and you want to grow beyond. And so you just have to have that honest conversation with yourself. And that's your truth. That's the reason why it didn't work out. That's the reason why you made a decision. And that's also the reason why you are in a healing process. So when you're questioning if you're going to find somebody better, you will find somebody better. I know a lot of times we hear the narrative that's out there, especially for people of color, women versus how many men to women or how many women to men and all this stuff. But when you develop and grow into a healed version of yourself and you're trusting God, for me, it's me trusting God in that process. I know that eventually that person will be prepared for me because it's a desire for me to be in a relationship and have a healthy relationship. So focus on being the version of yourself that you want to see mirrored to in the opposite person. You know, at the end of the day, you deserve better. You know, at the end of the day, you didn't deserve to be treated that way. And so you have to hold firm on that. You have to keep that at the core of the reason why you went through what you went through, why you're going through this process right now and was to come out on the other side of it. If you need something right now to help get you started on this journey, I created a simple but powerful mini release and heal guide that I will put the link to below. It's only $8.88, and I chose the number 8 because it's the number of new beginning, and you're on a new beginning in this journey. And so that's a resource that I will drop in a link below in the description, and so you could go ahead and grab that to help you along this process. I want to say to you that if you're at this point of the video, that means you're serious about healing from what it is that you've gone through with these expired or toxic relationships. And so I commend you for taking that step forward. It is truly a tough decision, but it's a necessary decision to make. It's going to take you in a place that empowers you to create healthy boundaries so you don't keep repeating this cycle. Remember, your healing is not going to be perfect. It's a process. So just focus on getting on the other side of the process. And if you slip, just get back up. Give yourself grace, like I said before. I guarantee you, I have slipped up plenty of times on my healing journey. And that's just something that's a part of life. It's a part of who we are as individuals, because we're going through all the changes and challenges and emotions that comes with life and all the things that impact our lives in different ways. Because you've made the decision to grow through your healing process, you're going to come through on the other side stronger, better equipped to create boundaries and to have healthier relationships. And it's a great way to start loving yourself and knowing what serves you, what your boundaries are, what your values are, and being convicted in that decision that you have made. I truly believe that God is not only restoring your heart, He's creating you a version of yourself that never ever has to beg again to be seen. If you find that this resonate with you, I need you to comment below. Let me know what value you found in this video, anything you want me to elaborate on in another video that I can help support you better. And if you thought about someone while listening to this video that you think this will be beneficial to, go ahead and share with them. There's a lot of people out here that's navigating broken hearts and not even knowing how to heal or the first step to take to really have a healthy outcome on the other side of their healing journey. I'm gonna have below the link to that release and heal mini guide. So that's a resource that I feel will be very helpful to get you started on this journey. And stay tuned and listen out for that full journal on release and heal. It is that deep dive. So keep an eye out for that. And with that being said, I'll see you next time.